on the Orient Express is a mystery novel written by Agatha Christie about a detective, Hercule Poirot, who has to investigate a murder on a train journey across the continent. The book is full of twists and turns, and is one of the classic murder mystery stories. In 1974, the novel was adapted into a feature film starring many of the era's iconic actors, including Ingrid Bergman and Sean Connery. The novel was later adapted again by Kenneth Branagh, who Monster Madness fans might know from the movie Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Now, you're probably thinking, why the hell do I care about some stupid book from the 30s? 2 words. Terror Train. Terror Train is a 1980 slasher about a bunch of college kids who are being stalked by a psychotic killer on a train, kinda like Agatha Christie's novel. Unlike the book, though, this movie is violent, funny, and absolutely batshit crazy. Fresh off of Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis is back as the girl being chased down by a killer intent on getting revenge for a prank pulled 3 years before. Why kill over a prank? This prank isn't just any old joke, it's seriously messed up. The killer, Kenny, was in a fraternity that was having a party they called Hog Night, where all of the virgins were supposed to get laid. One member, Doc, a serious jackass, I'll get to him later, decides to prank him by luring him into a room to sleep with a girl, only for him to discover that instead of a girl, there's a corpse in the bed. Since all of the fraternity seems to be medical students, I guess they had easy access to a cut-up body, but who in their right mind would make a guy get naked and try to kiss a cadaver? Kenny has a mental breakdown and ends up in the hospital, and 3 years later the gang gets back together to have a final party without him. Doc organizes the whole thing to be on board a train in the middle of the night, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Who rents a train for a party? Nobody in college would ever do that. But it's all okay because it's a new setting that looks great and feels different. Not many other horror movies have taken place on board a train since then. The movie is filled with the usual shallow characters, and alongside Friday the 13th, which came out just months before, helped to develop the cliches that we've gotten used to in slashers. In both movies, the prankster gets killed first, but in Friday the 13th, he had an unsatisfying off-screen death, and I was sad to see him go. In Terror Train, the character is so annoying you want him to die as soon as possible so you don't have to listen to his terrible jokes. And die he does, impaled by a sword and thrown under the wheels of a train. A lot of the kills in this movie are hidden, probably to avoid censors. Still, though, there are some gory moments, like when Jamie Lee Curtis stabs the killer through the eye, just like she does in Halloween. Come to think of it, there's a lot of moments in this film that remind me of Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis is chased down by a silent killer wearing a Halloween mask. She hides in a small cell, kind of like a closet, where she escapes by stabbing him in the eye. There's a fake death or two thrown in. Apparently, the executive producer of the movie got the idea from a dream he had after watching the original Halloween movie, and wanted to make a movie just like it, but set on a train. Halloween 2 hadn't come out yet, but imagine if this did fit into the franchise, like the anthology John Carpenter always wanted. Can you imagine an anthology of Halloween-based slasher movies, all starring Jamie Lee Curtis? The killer even wears a witch costume for most of the movie, so maybe this was the original season of The Witch. There's definitely more witch in it than in Halloween 3. Anyway, this movie's a lot of fun, and the performances of Jamie Lee Curtis and the fantastic Ben Johnson, who's the best character in the entire movie, make it a pleasure to watch. Also, how many slasher movies feature David Copperfield? Terror Train does. If you still feel unsure about seeing it, give it a try just for the ending. I won't spoil it, but damn, what an ending scene. Go watch Terror Train, the original Halloween 2.